You might think that you've seen every Christmas movie ever made, but I promise you, you haven't. What most people don't realize is that with the right perspective, Christmas movies are everywhere. And today I'm going to take you through 10 of the most popular films that you probably didn't even know were technically Christmas movies. First, let's talk about Lethal Weapon. Who knew one of the most popular buddy cop comedies of all time was actually the perfect holiday flick?
I'm jumping! Do you really want to jump? Do you want to?
Lethal Weapon hit theaters in 1987, and the chemistry between Mel Gibson's character Martin Riggs and Danny Glover's Roger Murdaugh made the movie an immediate hit. And to make things even better, the movie was set during the holidays. Right there, that alone makes it a Christmas movie, but if that wasn't enough, Lethal Weapon even used Bobby Helms' Jingle Bell Rock in the opening scene. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle. And that's not the only festive track to make its way into the 110-minute movie, though. Throughout the film, fans can also hear songs like The First Noel and I'll Be Home for Christmas playing in the background. Lethal Weapon featured various scenes with houses that were covered in Christmas lights, and there was even a shootout that took place in the middle of a bunch of Christmas trees. If all of that doesn't tell you that it's a Christmas movie, then you might need a holiday refresher. Then again, the movie is almost 40 years old, which, damn, that's old.
I'm too old for this shit.
Next up, I have a movie that actually is 40 years old, Trading Places. This hit comedy starred Eddie Murphy alongside Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, and many other big hitters. It was the type of movie that had you laughing so hard that you might not even have known it was a Christmas movie, even though it was right in front of you the entire time. For anyone who hasn't seen the movie, the general premise is that Eddie Murphy's character finds himself in a bet with an upper-class financial broker. The pair switch their lifestyles with one another, and as you might expect, chaos shortly followed. To make things even better though, the entire movie took place during Christmas time in Philadelphia. It's got everything you'd expect from an Eddie Murphy Christmas comedy. And I mean everything. Even a classic drunk Santa. It's clear that the director of the movie wasn't exactly going for a festive tone, but nevertheless, it shined through. Trading Places came out in 1983 and is not only one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies of all time,
It was the deuce.
but one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Hello, security. Merry Christmas.
The next film on our list that's secretly a Christmas movie is a little unexpected.
I want my pain to be inflicted on others.
It's American Psycho. This satirical psychological horror film was released more than 20 years ago, and to this day it is still one of the best movies to watch sitting next to the Christmas tree. Now I know that might sound weird, considering how dark and downright bloody the movie is,
Just had to kill a lot of people.
but one of the most memorable scenes from American Psycho was when Christian Bale's character, Patrick, attended a Christmas party for his girlfriend. It was a pretty tense scene with Patrick acting like a Grinch, but it was still packed with all of the festive holiday spirit. And I can still hear Christian Bale in character sternly telling Hamilton to have a holly jolly Christmas.
Hey Hamilton, have a holly jolly Christmas.
Up next, we have another holiday horror film, Gremlins. Joe Dante's masterpiece hit theaters in 1984 and has since become a staple for the holiday watch list. Gremlins was such a twisted, funny, and inventive movie that a lot of fans might forget that it's a Christmas movie, even though that's the entire setting. The entire town of Rockwellian was dressed up in holiday clothes at one point, and the majority of the chaos caused by the Gremlins takes place within the snowed-in town. Gremlins was full of festive moments, themes, and characters, all of which played a major role in making it one of the greatest and darkest Christmas movies of all time. This next one doesn't need much of an introduction. Die Hard has made a name for itself as one of the best Christmas movies of all time, despite many people being against it. If you happen to be one of those people, that's actually totally fine, but I have to disagree. For starters, unlike most Christmas movies, the entire first Die Hard takes place on Christmas Eve and early Christmas morning.
Merry Christmas.
The movie also includes multiple scenes that are set during a holiday office party and is full of weird jokes about the Big Red Man himself.
Welcome to the party, pal.
So, will Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman always have a place on my holiday stream list? To that I say,
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
next we have Iron Man 3, and even though the movie didn't release around the holidays, it's still 100% a Christmas movie.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
The third and final standalone film for Tony Stark took the world by storm when it hit theaters. And even though some might argue that a Marvel movie can't be considered a Christmas movie, I think that's just crazy. I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy got a literal holiday special for Drax's sake. You see what I did there? Yeah, I'm a big pun guy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Santa is a furry freak.
Iron Man 3 took the time to wrap up Tony's solo story really well, as it continued to develop his character for the other films that were upcoming in the MCU. But to make things seem even more wholesome, the director of the movie, Shane Black, decided to have Iron Man 3 take place during the Christmas season, which interestingly enough is actually a recurring theme for Shane. Throughout his history as a director, he tends to set a lot of his movies during Christmas. Now, the holiday setting for Iron Man 3 was mostly used as a decoration to solidify the movie into a specific time of year. That way, fans can easily place it within the timeline of the MCU. That being said, it's still an amazing movie to watch during Christmas, just as much, if not more so, than any other time of the year. Speaking of heroes without superpowers, Batman Returns also makes for an amazing Christmas movie.
I'm Batman.
I can just hear the Joker now. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. I loved that parody as a kid. Seriously though, Batman Returns isn't only one of the best live-action Batman films, but also one of Tim Burton's best holiday movies. As you'd expect from any movie directed by Burton, his version of Gotham City was filled with wondrous visuals and set designs. Only in this case, the visuals screamed Christmas. From all of the snow falling around Gotham to the streets that were lined with Christmas lights as the Batmobile flew through them, everything about the movie just screamed holiday. Not to mention that the movie is directly set during Christmas and the days that surround it. Sadly, Batman Returns was considered a flop at the box office, despite it becoming massively popular over time. And as of right now, it remains the last movie that Tim Burton brought The Dark Knight to life. Alright, the next Christmas movie that you might not have recognized as one is Catch Me If You Can. This iconic crime dramedy hit theaters in 2002 and quickly became a box office hit. But with Steven Spielberg behind the camera and two heavy-hitting leads like Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, and Christopher Walken, how could it not? The movie followed Frank Abagnale, who after his parents divorced, ran away from home and began running cons to survive. Jack quickly became one of the boldest con men in film history.
Yes.
Which is why he landed on the radar of FBI agent Carl Hanratty. The two play a really spectacular game of cat and mouse throughout the movie, and overall it's one that I could watch any time of the year. That being said, it's best to watch it around Christmas time.
Merry Christmas!
Not to mention, the movie actually released on Christmas of 2002. Now, some people might argue that since a majority of the movie wasn't set during the holidays, it can't be a Christmas movie. But if that were true, the same could be said for classics like It's a Wonderful Life. Even though Catch Me If You Can only has a small portion of the movie take place during the holiday, a major plot point in the movie is the fact that the two main characters only ever speak to each other on Christmas Eve. Oddly enough, it's also a very heartwarming film, taking another box of the It's a Christmas Movie checklist. For this next one, I actually have a series of movies rather than a single film. The Harry Potter series has got to be one of the greatest non-holiday themed Christmas franchises of all time. All 8 movies, including the Deathly Hallow 2-part finale, have some mention of Christmas. And even though some of the movies in the series spend more time focusing on the holiday season, they all make great viewing material during the 12 days of Christmas. The first movie, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, really set the tone for the holidays in the universe, with Harry and Ron staying at Hogwarts practically by themselves. They still receive presents though, which basically makes it every kid's dream.
I've got presents!
From there, fans got to watch their favorite witches and wizards grow up through each movie in the series, with each one having a very memorable winter scene. There's something about the British and Irish terrain that was used when shooting the movies that made it especially magical. I'm curious to know, which one of the Harry Potter movies had your favorite Christmas or festive seeming scene? Mine has got to be any of the winter scenes from The Prisoner of Azkaban, but be sure to drop yours in the comment below. Now, last but not least, we have Edward Scissorhands. Easily one of the greatest movies of all time. It was so weird that most people would never even think about associating it with Christmas. And that's even though the entire third act of the movie takes place during Christmas time. Tim Burton set it up, and Johnny Depp knocked it out of the park once again when he stepped into the role of Scissorhands. This shouldn't surprise anyone though. Even if you haven't seen the film, Burton and Depp have worked together on so many projects that you can almost be certain that they're going to create gold. In this case though, they created Christmas gold, with some of the best holiday scenes out of any of Burton's movies. Edward Scissorhands holds its own as a Christmas movie. That being said, it's still a Tim Burton film. While it's festive, it's still telling a strangely dark story, as Edward ironically became less and less accepted as the seasons changed from summer to the season of supposed goodwill towards men. That ice angel sculpture that Edward made in the backyard was truly epic though, and it certainly hits differently when you watch the movie during the holidays. What's your favorite movie to watch around Christmas time that most people wouldn't expect? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of Flixplain's greatest hits. And would you look at that? There's one on the screen right now. So go ahead and click that. I'll see you over there.